Welcome, grade 4s, to WorksheetCloud.com's online lessons. I'm Miss Nicole Frank, but I'm sure you all know that by now. So, in our previous lessons, we went over comprehension skills, and the topic we focused on mostly was prediction, right? So, for this lesson, we're going to take it a step further and we're going to learn a few more strategies on how to deal with comprehensions. Right, so let's not waste any time and get to it. Okay, so if you have any questions about this lesson or any of the other lessons that I've done, please send an email to grade4@worksheetcloud.com and we will get back to you as soon as we can after the lesson. So this email is for you to be able to correspond with us if you weren't clear on something that we've taught during a lesson. Okay, so today we are looking at part 2 of our comprehension skills lessons. And like I said, we focused mostly on prediction in our previous lesson and trying to find out how we can possibly understand the story before we actually even read it. So I hope that you've read the story under yesterday's date so that you can, it was listed under the activity. I'm hoping that you've read the lesson now and so that we can actually move forward with us. So today's lesson overview is it's going to be a sentence a day. I said we're going to start off our lessons like that so we can get used to parts of speech and how to break up our sentences. I did also say that we won't always be doing parts of speech in sentence a day, but for now we've tried to stick to that. We're going to be looking at elements of a story. So we looked at Slim and the Dinosaur, and now we're going to look at the elements of a story and how to kind of analyze a story when we are looking at one. We're going to summarize a story in this lesson as well. So we've read Slim and the Dinosaur, we know exactly what happened in the story, and now we are going to summarize the story. Okay, so that is what we're looking at doing for today. So firstly and foremost, we start with our sentence a day. So look at the following sentence and break it up into its parts of speech. The beautiful bird flew across the sea. So, grade 4s, now is your time to shine. Get your page, pencil or pen and write the sentence down and see how many you can get right. Remember the other day, yesterday we went through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 words. Yesterday was 8, so now you can give yourself a mark out of 7 if you get all of it correct. It was 7 out of 7. Okay, so let's go. I'm going to give you a few seconds. Okay. So like yesterday or the previous lessons sentence a day, what I did was I put up all the different parts of speech on the screen and then we drew arrows to them to show that we knew exactly where they were. Sorry, let me just go back. Okay, so there we have it. Let's take our pen or a pencil that you have. I'm going to take a nice color over here. And we are going to draw our line. So there is an article, right? Definite article, but article is fine, okay? And beautiful describes the noun bird, so it is an adjective. Awesome. Bird is a naming word and it's also a common noun. Good. And flew is my action word in the sentence. And action words are called verbs. So flew is a verb. Very good. And then across is telling me where the bird flew or where the bird is in relation to the sea. And therefore it is a preposition. And there we have the again, and the we said is an article, and sea is a common noun. Very good, grade 4s. So that is us breaking up our sentence into parts of speech. And if you'd like, you can give yourselves a mark out of 7. Well done. Let's move on. So, elements of a story. There are different sections or parts of a story that helps us understand the story better. When we look at analyzing a story, we look at elements of the story. So that tells us who is in the story, what's happening in the story, and what we're supposed to learn from the story. So now we're going to look at the elements of Slim and the Dinosaur, and we're going to do it in practice. So the elements of the story are the following. We look at the characters in the story. So who or what the story is about. That is when we focus on the characters of the story, okay? Then we have the setting, where the story takes place. So where is the story happening? That is the setting. Then we're looking at the plot, okay? What happens in the story? So basically the plot tells us a summary of the whole story. What exactly happens here? The theme is the message or the lesson of the story. Okay, so what kind of message is the story trying to tell us? And then lastly, point of view. Who is telling the story? Is it the first person narration? That means the person is telling the story from their point of view. Or is it the third person narration where somebody else is telling the story in an objective view? Okay, so that or these are the elements of a story. We look at characters, setting, plot, theme, and point of view. And so we're going to take these 5 elements and we're going to apply it to the story of Slim and the Dinosaur. So I'm going to leave it on here for a few seconds for you to get familiar with it, and then we're going to apply it to Slim and the Dinosaur. Okay, so Slim and the Dinosaur. And for now, you guys should have read the story already. We read it together in the previous lesson, and I left it as your activity for yesterday's lesson. So today, now we're going to look at the story and we're going to take out the elements of that story. Okay, so Slim and the Dinosaur. The elements of the story. And there I put up our pictures again from yesterday's lesson. And here we have our characters, setting, plot, theme, and point of view. And we are going to start with the characters. So the characters in the story which we have come to understand is Slim, the dinosaur, and Slim's mom. So who or what the story is about? The main character in the story is Slim, obviously, because he's the main character. He's the one that's doing the actions. He's who the story is about. But we also have supporting characters in the dinosaur and Slim's mom. So if we are looking at the characters, we are looking at all of them, and they should be Slim, the dinosaur, and Slim's mom. Okay? And in the setting, most of the time it takes place at the dinosaur's house. Now, some of you might be saying, yes, but it's not, the setting isn't always there. I know that, but sometimes you have to look at where the story is happening most of the time. And most of the time, Slim is in the dinosaur's house. Okay, so that is the setting. We're going to come back to the plot. Okay, but for now, we're going to move on to theme. Listen to your parents or guardians. So the message or the lesson that they're trying to teach us from the story is that we need to listen to our parents or our guardians. Okay, so that is what they want us to learn at the end of the day. And point of view, it's third person narration because it's told from somebody else. Okay, if Slim was telling the story, we would start our sentences with I, okay, or my. And because we are calling him Slim and the dinosaur, we are speaking in a third person narration. So I said we're going to go back to the plot, and this is why. The plot is usually the summary of the story because it tells us what happened or what is going to happen in the story. When we're looking at these elements here, when we use elements of the story a lot of the time is when we're doing a book review. So we're basically giving an idea of a story before somebody actually reads it, okay? And it's giving us a synopsis, or another word, a summary of the story, okay? So here we have the elements of Slim and the Dinosaur. Our characters, our setting, our plot, our theme, and our point of view. So we're going to be looking now at the summary of Slim and the Dinosaur. A summary. So a summary is basically shortened version of the story. And how do we do that? I'm going to teach you a way now. And we're going to whip the story into shape. So when we think of a summary, we think of the word whip, okay? And here is why. W I P, whip. Firstly, we look at what are we looking for. So obviously, when you are busy with your summary, you are thinking, there's something I'm looking for. And what is it that I'm looking for? Well, I'm looking for the important information. So we're going to underline all the important information. So the first thing we're saying is W, what are we looking for? And the second part is important information. And I've added underline there so that it can help you see when you are going to write down your summary, where you can go and find your important information. And lastly, we will paragraph it. So this type of summary we are doing in a paragraph form. Sometimes we can do it in bullet points, but for now we are looking at paragraphing it. So when we're thinking of a summary, we think of whip, okay? And I've said now that we are going to whip the story into shape. So without any further ado, let's look at our story and let's underline the important information, and then we're going to go on to paragraph it. So before I go any further, grade 4s, let me get out of your way. Okay, so here we have the text on our screens now, and we're now going to look at the important parts of the story, and we're going to underline them together. Now you're going to sit there and you're going to watch me underline, but you can use your finger if you like to point to the screen where you think the important information is, and then if you're right, awesome, because we are doing this together. So let's get a nice color over here and we're going to do this. So once upon a time, there was a boy who was just far too naughty. His name was Slim. So I think that's important, grade 4s, because he is the main character of the story. So we need to know, we need to introduce when we are busy with our summary that there was a boy named Slim, okay? His parents always told him not to go over to Dinosaur's house because they liked their privacy. This did not stop him from sneaking out every day to see what the dinosaurs were up to. So he was not listening to his parents, and that's important. So I'm going to underline, told him not to go over to Dinosaur's house. Okay, that seems to be important as well, because they said now, don't go there, and he didn't listen. To his amazement, he saw that the dinosaur had an egg. So the egg is an important part of the story. We know that now. Okay, so we're underlining the dinosaur had an egg. This made Slim very excited because he always wanted to touch a real dinosaur egg. One day, he snuck into the dinosaur's cave and went to touch the egg. As he was about to touch it, he heard a voice say, "Who are you and what are you doing in my cave?" Slim was shocked. He turned around to see Mr. Dinosaur standing in the room with him, with his hands on his hips. "I'm waiting, young man." Slim was astonished. The dinosaur spoke just like he did. "I'm Slim," he stuttered in fear. "I just wanted to touch this beautiful egg. Please don't hurt me." "And why would I hurt you?" the dinosaur asked. "My mommy said I shouldn't come over here." "Why didn't you listen to your mommy?" the dinosaur asked Slim softly. "She's always telling me to do stuff. Sometimes I just want to do my own thing." "That isn't always a good idea, because now you have upset me, and I don't like to be disturbed." "Can I go home now?" Slim asked quietly. "Go home, little boy. but don't come back. Listen to your mommy. So in this, I can see that what's very important is that he told him to listen to his mom, okay, which was very important. He also said that he was scared of the dinosaur, okay, so that's also very important. And the other thing is that what I want you to notice, grade 4, is that he also says that my mother's always telling me to do stuff and sometimes I don't. I just want to do my own thing. So I'm going to underline that because it is important, because Slim wanted to do his own thing. Let's go to the next part of our story. Okay, so there I wrote we have to underline the important information together. So, the next part. Dinosaur knew that Slim would be back. He knew because Slim was a curious boy. He wanted to teach Slim a lesson about not listening to his parents. So he wanted to teach Slim a lesson about not listening to his parents. That's also important. Each day, Dinosaur watched Slim sneak out of his own house and come over to Dinosaur's house to play with the egg. One day, Dinosaur replaced the egg with a flimsy cracked egg. So that's important because now Dinosaur is setting Slim up here, okay? Because Slim's not listening. So this egg could break at any moment. When Slim snuck in to play with the egg suddenly broke. All the color left Slim's face. Oh no, what could he do? Just as he was about to run away, Dinosaur came in. What is going on here? Dinosaur asked. Did you break my egg? Kill my child? Did I not tell you not to come here? Dinosaur was talking very loudly. Slim remained quiet. He wanted to run and call his mother. You did tell me, but Slim began. Oh no, Dinosaur shouted. You did not listen. Now you will have to learn. You cannot go home, ever. You wanted to keep coming over here and playing in my house. Since I no longer have a child, you can be my child. Go home and pack your things. Go say goodbye to your mom. So, from this I can tell that now Slim has to go and he has to go and live with Dinosaur. So that's important, okay? So Dinosaur tells him to come and live with him. So go and pack your things and go and say goodbye to your mom. When Slim got home, his mommy was already packed, okay? She already packed him up. Said, okay, you don't listen, you need to go now. Slim was so sad, he cried all the way home. He did not want to leave his mommy. He was going to miss them so much. When he got home, his mom was already waiting for him by the door with his bag in her hands. Dinosaur told me what happened. Here's your bag, Slim. Slim started crying loudly. Please, mommy, don't let me go there. Please, mommy. But Slim, she said, I did tell you not to go there, but you didn't listen. I promise I will listen now. I promise. Just don't let me go. Slim's mom started smiling. Dinosaur called me and told me what happened. You did not kill his child, but we needed to show you that if you don't listen, bad things could happen. So that's important. If you don't listen, bad things could happen. I hope you learned your lesson now, Slim. Yes, I did, said Slim. Slim never went to disturb the dinosaurs again, and he always listened to his mommy. And that was the lesson of the story. Okay, so at the moment, we have quite a bit of underlining going on here. As you saw, there was a lot of speaking in these paragraphs, so I didn't underline the whole one. I just wanted to get the most important parts of the story. Remember, we are looking for the important things and we're underlining them, and then our next step is to paragraph it. So our next step, let's write down what we found. Okay, we will start with there was once, okay, which is the sentence starter. That's what we call a sentence starter. And when we're looking at paragraphs, we always look at how we're going to start our paragraph. So it's important for you to see that we are going to use a specific way to start our summary. And we are starting with there was once. Okay. Now some people want to start with once upon a time or one day, but now we are looking at there was once to start our paragraph. Okay. So our summary. From what we've underlined now, we are now moving to our paragraph and to see how we got everything into a few sentences. So, there was once a boy called Slim who did not like to listen to his mother. His mother told him not to go over to Dinosaur's house, but that did not stop Slim. Slim saw that the dinosaur had an egg, and even though the dinosaur told Slim not to come to his house, Slim did not listen. Every day, Slim would sneak into the dinosaur's house to play with the egg. One day, Dinosaur replaced his egg with a flimsy one, and when Slim came to play with it, the egg broke. Dinosaur was very upset, and he told Slim that because he broke the egg, he would have to live with Dinosaur from now on. Slim was very scared, and he did not want to leave his mother. But his mom already packed his things. Slim did not want to listen to her, so he had to live with the dinosaur. Slim's mom made him promise to always listen, otherwise bad things will happen. So, our summary is 8 sentences long. Now they look quite a lot for 8 sentences, grade 4s. Can any of you think of how I could make my sentences longer? I think you got it. They are called conjunctions. So I extended my sentences by joining sentences together and using my conjunctions in the summary. So that was a way for me to keep my summary at 8 sentences, but also using as much information as I possibly could. So we took a long story and we made it shorter. Okay, and we basically went to go and take out the important parts of the story to add into our summary. I hope you're all with me, grade 4 so far. So we've underlined the story. We can go back now for a second and go and see. And let's just go back to show you. So we've underlined the important parts of the text that we thought was important. And we wrote it out. We didn't just write it directly from the text. Okay, we actually put it in our own words. So we started with there once was a boy called Slim who did not like to listen to his mother. So it doesn't say that directly in the story, but I went and I put it in my own words. And now I've summarized the story. Okay, so our summary was 8 sentences long. Can you try 5? Now, the reason I'm asking that is because I would like you to go back now, grade 4s, and to see if you can summarize the summary into 5 sentences. And if you can do that, awesome. But it's just me trying to see if you are able to use the least amount of information, or at least amount of sentences with the most important information. So, in the next lesson, we're going to cover how to restate a question when answering questions based on a text. What do I mean when I say that? Okay. I'm going to bring myself back down here again. I mean that when you are asked a question in a text or from a text, I want us to be able to use the question to answer the question. And that's basically what that means over there. So I hope that this lesson has been exciting for you and you've learned a lot, especially when it comes to summaries. If you're still a bit confused about how else you can do a summary, there are other strategies as well. And please send us an email stating that you didn't understand or you'd like a different strategy, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. So remember, you can send any questions about this lesson to grade 4 at WorksheetCloud.com. Please read the story and see if you can create a summary of 5 sentences. And there's my clue over there, grade 4, use conjunction. And so I hope that you enjoyed this lesson, and I will see you again tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your day, grade 4s. Bye.